Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take sources, we peel back those layers, and really try to extract the key nuggets of knowledge and insight for you. Today, we're doing a deep dive into, well, a really ancient text, Proverbs chapter 3. But you'll find it has some surprisingly relevant wisdom for, how we live today, especially around true health and prosperity and peace. So our mission here is to unpack the insights from this chapter. It promises to challenge, I think, some of our standard ideas about well-being and maybe reveal how genuine health actually comes from a profoundly different source than we usually think about. We're looking at timeless principles for a more fulfilled life.
It's really fascinating, isn't it? How these words from King Solomon, a figure known for incredible wisdom, basically lay out a blueprint. It's not just abstract stuff. It's practical, actionable guidance for living, really practical.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Let's get into it. So Solomon kicks things off, talking to his son. It feels quite personal. Don't forget my teaching. Keep my commands in your heart, for they will add to you many days, years of life, and peace. That really sets the tone, right?
It absolutely does. Right from the start, you see this clear link being made between following these ways, God's ways, and getting concrete benefits, like long life, real peace. And our sources point out, this echoes Solomon's own life story. In 1 Kings, God promised him exactly that long life, prosperity, because he was obedient. So it's presented as a direct result, not just a nice thought.
And here's where I thought it got really interesting. He then tells his son to hold on to two specific things, grace and truth, or maybe better translations are love and faithfulness. The Hebrew words are cheesed and iman.
Right, cheesed and iman, and they're key. Cheesed isn't just, feeling loving. It's this loyal love, an active love. It's about doing, serving others. The source material even connects this to Jesus saying his disciples would be known by their love. It's that kind of active commitment.
Okay, so cheesed is active love. What about iman?
Iman is about trust, but like a deep, rock-solid dependence on God. Unshakable trust.
And the idea is to wear them like a necklace, make them visible, but also write them on your heart.
Exactly. They need to be deep inside first, part of your character, but then, yes, visible in how you act.
Why is that visibility so important?
Well, the idea is when people see these qualities in you, this loyal love, this faithfulness, it points beyond you. It glorifies God, and it builds your reputation, too, a good one. You become, like the source says, a bright, shining light in this dark world. People see something different.
Okay, so that deepens this whole idea of faithfulness, amen. Then Solomon says, trust in Adonai with all your heart. Do not rely on your own understanding. Adonai, of course, means Lord or God. But that don't rely on your own understanding part, that really pushes against how we often think today, right? We value logic, figuring things out ourselves.
It really does. This iman, this kind of faithfulness, it goes beyond just what makes sense to us intellectually. It's knowing deep down that God's on your side, that he's working for your good, no matter what things look like on the surface.
Even if you have no idea why something difficult is happening.
Especially then, perhaps. It's trusting the path leads somewhere good, even if you can't see it. And the source material suggests that walking through those hard times while still trusting, that's actually when God gets the most glory through you. It shows real faith.
That makes me think about, all the focus on wellness today. Diets, fitness, mindfulness, it's everywhere. But then Proverbs 3, verses 7 and 8 says, don't be conceited about your own wisdom, but fear Adonai and turn from evil. This will bring health to your body and give strength to your bones. How does that fit with our modern wellness culture?
It's quite a statement, isn't it? The source material is pretty clear. It argues the key to a truly healthy life is actually following the Lord. It's aligning with his ways. And the logic is God created our bodies, so he knows best how they function optimally. We have freedom, sure, choices to make about health.
Right, diet, exercise, those things matter.
They do. But this suggests the foundation, the real source of health and vitality, is deeper. It's this reverence for God, turning from harmful things. It leads to health. And interestingly, the source also notes that the ultimate restoration of health comes later, with the return of Jesus Christ.
Yep.
But there are benefits now.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. What about resources, money? Proverbs 3, verses 9 and 10. Honor Adonai with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your income, then your granaries will be filled, and so on. Overflowing vats.
Yeah, this is a big one. And the source makes a really interesting distinction here. It talks about how some teachings today focus on, like, name it and claim it, or sowing a seed, expecting a specific guaranteed return.
Right, the sort of give X to get 10X back idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this passage, according to the analysis we looked at, contrasts sharply with that. The key here isn't transactional giving. It's about honoring God with your best, the first fruits, the first and best part, simply as thanks, recognizing He's the provider.
So it's about gratitude, not leverage.
Precisely. The source actually warns against things like putting donations on a credit card you can't pay off or giving what you don't have thinking it forces God's hand. It says those promises of a hundredfold return like that are not of God. It's about giving thankfully from what He's already provided.
That's a very different motivation. Okay, so if it's not about chasing material wealth like that, what is true happiness and wealth according to this? Verses 13 to 15 say, "Happy the person who finds wisdom. Her profit exceeds that of silver. Gaining her is better than gold. Nothing you want can compare with her." That's pretty clear.
It is crystal clear. The source connects it directly. True happiness, real contentment, it's found in God and gaining this divine wisdom. It suggests that putting your energy into drawing closer to the Lord and understanding His ways is actually far more profitable in the long run than just chasing money or possessions.
More profitable than silver or gold.
Yeah, and get this, the source even calls this pursuit of wisdom the best retirement program. In our age of 401ks and IRAs, that's a bold statement. It's saying true security lies elsewhere.
So this wisdom isn't just about some future payout. It impacts life right now, too. Verses 16 to 18 promise, "Long life is in her right hand, riches and honor in her left. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace."
Exactly. It connects back to that initial promise. Understanding and following God's ways leads to a longer, healthier life both now and, the text implies, eternally. Our source material really emphasizes this, calling health and life the primary concern for men. Because, what good is anything else if you're sick or worse? True. Full life is found here.
And there's this added benefit, too, right? That if you're trusting God to provide what you need, it takes away a lot of worry.
Less worry, less stress, which leads to inner peace, and apparently peace with others, too. The source suggests a lot of conflict in the world comes from people wanting what others have. But if you're content with what the Lord provides for you, well, that removes a major source of strife.
That makes sense. Less striving, less comparison, maybe more peace.
And then Solomon connects it to the really big picture. Verses 19 and 20 remind us God created everything, the earth, the heavens. So if He did all that, the logic follows. He's more than capable of taking care of your needs. Trusting that reduces stress. And less stress, as the source points out, can literally lead to a longer and healthier life. It's all connected: spiritual trust, mental peace, physical health.
Okay, so how do we walk this out day to day? Solomon tells his son to be vigilant, to preserve common sense and discretion. Verses 21 and 22 say, "They will be life for your being and grace for your neck." What does that look like practically?
Well, the interpretation from our sources is pretty down to earth. It's a call to resist things that lead to foolishness. Maybe temptations like drugs, excessive alcohol, things that cloud your judgment. Making wise choices.
And that wisdom becomes noticeable, like grace for your neck.
Yeah, like visible evidence of good character. Like wearing fine jewelry, it says. Your wise choices are seen, and they reflect well on you. It's about practical discernment in everyday life.
And that discernment, that vigilance, it brings protection. Verses 23 to 26 promise you can walk your way securely without hurting your foot. Even that sleep will be sweet. No need to fear sudden terror.
It's a powerful promise of security, isn't it? That if you hold on to these things, these ways of wisdom and trust, God protects you. You can rely on Him, not just your own strength or caution.
But then it pivots slightly. Our wellness isn't just about us, right? It's tied to how we treat others.
Absolutely. This is crucial. Proverbs 3:27-28 says, "Don't withhold good from someone entitled to it when you have in hand the power to do it. And don't tell your neighbor to come back tomorrow if you can help them now."
That immediacy seems important. Don't put it off.
Right. The source notes that often needs arise at inconvenient times, but the call is to seize the opportunity to do good. It even suggests that, particularly for believers, if you do withhold compassion when you could act, it might literally keep you up at night, that internal compass, that conscience.
That rings true. A lack of compassion leaves you feeling unsettled.
Exactly. And then living peacefully with neighbors, as verses 29 and 30, advise not plotting harm, not arguing needlessly, that also directly lowers your own stress. Good for your health.
But it's not about being passive if someone actually harms you.
No, the source clarifies it doesn't mean being a doormat. If someone has wronged you, you can address it, deal with the problem. But then, and this is key, move on. Don't hold on to resentment or bitterness. That stuff eats away at your well-being. Resolve it, then release it.
Okay, so we're nearing the end of the chapter. Solomon gives this final warning. Don't envy a man of violence. Don't choose any of his ways. Why? For the perverse is an abomination to Adonai, but he shares his secret counsel with the upright. What's meant by the perverse here?
Our source defines the perverse as those who know better, they know the right way, but they deliberately choose the wicked or violent path anyway. And the message is stark.
Yeah.
You can't really mix these two paths. You can't have, a bit of the world's way and a bit of God's way and expect it to work. It demands a clear choice.
An undivided heart.
Exactly. Those who follow God's path, the upright, they get shown more deeper insights, his secret counsel. But those who choose the other way, they go it alone. God likes them, but they won't have that divine guidance.
So what's the final outcome then? The last few verses, 33 to 35, draw this sharp contrast. Adonai's curse is in the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous.
Yeah, it lays out the two potential endings pretty clearly. The source explains that those who choose to ignore God's wisdom, who go it alone, are described as being under a curse. It means a life of struggle, constantly fighting for things and ending up with little of lasting value both now and eternally.
But the righteous, the ones who follow this wisdom,
They don't have to strive and chase in the same way because the Lord provides for them. They are blessed, honored. It says the wise inherit honor, but fools get disgrace. So the ultimate takeaway, the big nugget here, is that following Jesus, following this wisdom, isn't just about the afterlife. It has real, tangible benefits for our wellness, our peace, our prosperity today, as well as for all eternity.
wow. What a deep dive today into Proverbs chapter 3. It really does redefine wellness, doesn't it? It takes it way beyond the physical. It brings in loyal love, cheese, and that deep trust, humility, compassion. It's holistic.
It really is. And this ancient wisdom from Solomon, it feels incredibly relevant. A practical guide for navigating modern life, really. It offers peace, a different kind of prosperity, by shifting our focus away from just relying on ourselves towards this profound reliance on God. It reminds us that true health, real wealth, genuine honor, they often come from places that seem countercultural.
Which leads to maybe a final thought for you, our listener, to chew on. In a world that's always selling quick fixes for wellness and happiness, what might happen if you intentionally leaned into these principles? Loyal love, radical trust, selfless compassion. How could that truly redefine your own pursuit of health and happiness? Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll be back soon with another deep dive.